So this is part 2 about my story about my old bad neighbor named Jay. Prequel to the restraining order people. So I left off about how he was making my house smell all day, every day. We were starting to put up boundaries at this point, so he was very unhappy. And it was really with me. I'm always blamed for everything. But I am the one that had to start putting up the boundary. We had to stop saying no to all the rides. Because they were not just like, we need food. Like, they were, let's go to Boston. Like, 45 minutes away to the city. Like, crazy things. He had no shame. He was having the football coach pick him up and bring him grocery shopping. Like, not that you don't want to be kind to people. It's not that. He was just taking advantage of everybody. So, things were getting very tense around here. Because he would just have his people over and they would just all be doing that thing that made my house smell really bad. And the worst is it would go in my son's room, and it got to the point where we just didn't know what to do. We tried to talk to him. We tried to write him a letter. We tried everything we could until he didn't care. So we had to make a complaint, and they told us to call the police because it's hard. When you have like a smell, what are you going to do? You can't record it. So we eventually had to call the police at midnight one night because it was in my son's room and I just, as a mom, could not deal. And they came and they smelled it. So at least we had record. Like, there was somebody else that was a professional that was documenting it. And they tried to talk to him and he was, no, I don't do that. Even though, like, his entire apartment's a cloud of smoke. And his son's in there and it just was bad. So anyway, we ended up having to do this so many times. And we didn't know what else to do because it was the only way you can record an odor. So eventually, he got enough of these that he ended up in an eviction. Like, whatever. He got an eviction notice. And instead of just cleaning up his act, because let me tell you, all he had to do was go outside. He lived right on the end by the woods. No big deal. All he had to do, it wouldn't have fazed me. You're not supposed to do it on the property, but I don't care about that. I just don't want it to affect my house. So, anyway, court happens, and he eventually did get evicted. He got to stay another 30 days. He had a girlfriend move in the meanwhile. It was quite the interesting set of events. It was exhausting. I didn't sleep the whole time because he was so flippin' loud and it was just so stressful. We would have to like go places just to have peace. He had parties, cookouts, all people just like him. And we're like this close. So anyway, and the worst was, like, I remember thinking, we share a flippin' wall. Like, he's right there. I ended up having to get, like, for my garden, like, one of those canopies, and we got, like, one that had, like, a wall so you couldn't see. It was, like, so ridiculously horrible. But he eventually got evicted, and he left. But that wasn't the end to Bad Neighbors. That wasn't it. In came S. We're going to call her S. She pulls in the first day in an Audi. And where we live, you don't drive an Audi. You probably shouldn't be here if you drive an Audi. Like a brand new Audi. Like a really nice one. Anyway, she told everyone it wasn't hers. But she had it for a whole year. And she was clinically crazy. The first thing that happened really didn't have anything to do with us. She told the housing authority that it wasn't going to be suitable for her and to find her another unit. Well, that didn't go over well. So she ended up moving in, and from the jump, she was unhappy. So she was always looking for every reason to not stay there. So the first was that her house smelled like a certain thing, which honestly it probably did after what had just happened over there. And then it was bugs. She was infested with bugs. It's so bad that one day I went outside and she had mounds of like something on the ground, and something told me it wasn't good. We have a dog and I have a garden. Well, it was to find out mounds of like this dangerous chemical that you're only supposed to sprinkle maybe a handful around carefully. Mounds of it. the housing authority maintenance guy called the police. It was so bad, and they had to tell it, like, they came out with these bags and told her, like, you got to stop this. It's dangerous to the environment and to the community. So that was problem number one. And then she decided that she was going to start complaining about us. We in 10 years had no complaints from anyone, not even Jay. Never complained about us. Wake up one morning with my dog. We're the only ones home. We were sleeping. I mean, it's quiet. And it's the police telling us, you know, are we okay? Because the neighbor called because we're throwing furniture. So I have him come in. I'm like, my house is clean. I'm just standing there. He could tell I just woke up. And he's like, okay, like, clearly there's a problem here. And it's not you. So then I find out from my friends and neighbors on our community page that she had blocked me. And she was writing about, like, you know, saying I need an air mattress. Can anyone have a free air mattress? Because her favorite site on different social media sites, well, I'm trying to be careful, was like the free pages. So she was looking for air mattresses because she had to sleep in her living room because her horrible, loud neighbors wouldn't let her sleep. So that was us. She was using those pages to gain sympathy and to bash us. Well, I caught on to it. So one day I tried to just talk to her very nicely, and I knew to hit record on my phone, and I just went up because I wanted to ask her to just not put stuff about us on community pages where, you know, we both live here. I was so nice. I didn't move off my front step. She ran inside and called the police and said I was bullying, I was harassing her, I was chasing her. I had it on my phone, so I was able to show them that wasn't the case. So, you know, that didn't go over well for her. Then she would, like, bang on, no matter what I did, she'd bang on the walls. Bang on the walls. Bang, like, be quiet. Meanwhile, she's singing, she's cackling. It's part of apartment living. I guess she wasn't used to apartment living. So these free pages that she would use, she would, no matter what somebody would post, she would pick it. I want it first, me, and then she would have them drop it off because I don't think she would want to show up in her Audi. And even this, she'd have, like, the elderly people, like, not only coming to bring it to her, to walking it all the way, like, they'd be, like, walking so slow all the way to her door. She just was doing this crazy stuff, and it was very clear she wasn't okay. Well, it all boiled down to the end. She decided she had it. At first, I saw, like, these people going in and out, like friends and family, with, like, vacuums and all this cleaning supplies, and I'm like, oh my God, is there an infestation? Because that could affect me. So I asked them, and they're like, oh yeah, she's infested with bugs. I'm like, well, what kind of bugs? I'm panicking. I can smell, oh God, mothballs. She used mothballs for everything, like overwhelming smell of mothballs when she'd open her door or windows. And this time it was vinegar. So her mother ended up coming over. Yeah, there's a bug issue. She came over in her hand, and they were sesame seeds, like a handful of sesame seeds. I don't know whether she sprinkled them around, so cause she was loving it. She was having her mother do all the cleaning while she would sit out back just skimming through a magazine while all these people were cleaning her infestation up. And the other thing she did is if she would walk outside, if you'd be out there talking to a neighbor or something, she would put up paper and walk by like she was the damn paparazzi, like celebrity that she was hiding. Like, we didn't care who she was. She was insane, and she did end up moving out. And this is all right before the big finale. Hopefully it was the finale of the other next door neighbor, restraining order neighbor, the lovely restraining order neighbor. So it was 1, 2, 3. And now we're just waiting to see what happens next. So that's the story. Sorry they're so long, but those are the stories of all our bad neighbors. And in Googling it, I know I'm not alone. Holy crap. But anyway, I hope that you have great neighbors and have a great day.